Let's talk to Mr. Trump himself. He joined us by the phone. Donald Trump, thank you for joining us again this morning. You've heard that chorus of condemnation, not only from Hillary Clinton, from a lot of Republicans as well, including the chair of the New Hampshire Republican Party. She says it's un-Republican, unconstitutional, un-American. Do you have any second thoughts at all that you may have gone too far?
Well, first of all, George, she's a Bush person, and she wants to see Bush, and Bush has crashed like nobody's ever seen anyone crash before. We have had tremendous support. We've had calls in, thousands and thousands of people. You saw last night, we were on a ship. There were thousands of people there. There were thousands of people outside that couldn't get in. And frankly, it was a standing ovation that wouldn't stop. People, and you did polls. I mean, people went and interviewed the people that were at my speech last night, and they just want to see something happen.
So no second thoughts.
We had the World Trade Center. We had the pre-World Trade Center. Remember, a lot of people forget now. They tried to blow it up twice. We had so many other incidents, and we had now the last incident in California. Now it turns out that $28,000 was deposited into this punk's safe, account. Probably given by some people that we are fighting. Something has to be done. And if you look at what I'm saying...
Well, let me stop you right there. Excuse me for a second. Let me just stop you right there. Tell us how it's going to work if you indeed are going to get this done. Unlikely that it could pass Congress, even if it did, likely to be found unconstitutional. So how will you actually do this?
What I'm doing is I'm calling very simply for a shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. And here's a key. Until our country's representatives can figure out what is going on. They don't know.
How would you stop them from entering the United States?
The other night with a speech that nobody still knows. I tweeted out, is that all there is? He didn't say anything. He doesn't know what's going on. And we have people in this country that want to blow up our country. You know it, and so do I. The polls have come out, and various polls I quoted, where 25% of those polls agree that the violence against Americans here in the United States is justified. And they're looking at the jihad.
But, sir...
And they want a global jihad. Now, George, we can take it sitting back. You will have many more World Trade Centers. It'll only get worse. You look at Paris, and I'm not talking about the horrible carnage that took place. Paris is no longer the same city. They have areas in Paris where the police refuse to go, George.
Sir, I understand.
To go there because it's so dangerous.
I understand what you're saying there,
and there's no
sir.
law and order. We don't want that for our country, George. We have to figure it out.
But tell me how this is going to work. If an American citizen travels overseas, they're Muslim, they cannot come back?
No, they can come back. If we're talking about all good people, and this is not only, but if a person is a Muslim, it goes overseas and comes back, they can come back. They're a citizen. That's different. But we have to figure things out. We didn't know. Look at this case of the bombing and the killing, the carnage, where he had bombs all over his apartment, and people knew it, and they didn't want to call the police. They knew there was a problem because they didn't want to racially profile him. Now, I actually don't believe that. I think these people knew what was going on. I think they're using that as an excuse. They didn't want to racially. But did you ever hear of anything so stupid? They didn't want to call the police because they didn't want to be calling them. They didn't want to racially profile. Look, George, we have problems in this country. We have people that want to blow up our buildings, our cities, and we have to figure out what's going on. Something is happening that's not good.
You're still not telling me.
I will tell you, this proposal has been met by intelligent people with great popularity. Now, George, let me just finish off by saying it is a period of time. It's until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Well, the question is, how would they figure out what was going on, and how would you know that people are Muslims that are coming into the country? And that is, it's not on any passport in the world. And you say you have a lot of support. Cover of the Philadelphia Daily News right now. I want to show it to our viewers right now. It shows the new furor over Donald Trump, showing you raising your hand in a pretty demonstrative gesture. And we have from Ibrahim Hooper of the Council on American Islamic Relations saying, are we talking internment camps? Are we talking the final solution to the Muslim question? I feel like I'm back in the 30s. You're increasingly being compared to Hitler. Does that give you any pause at all?
No, because what I'm doing is no different than what FDR's solution for Germans, Italians, Japanese, many years ago.
So you're for internment camps?
This is a president who was highly respected by all, he did the same thing. If you look at what he was doing, it was far worse. I mean, he was talking about the Germans because we're at war. We are now at war. We have a president that doesn't want to say that, but we are now at war.
I've got to press you on that, sir. So you're praising FDR there. I take it you're praising the setting up of internment camps for Japanese during World War II?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Take a look at presidential proclamations 25, 25, 25, 26, and 25, 27, having to do with alien Germans, alien Italians, alien Japanese. I mean, what they did. You know, they stripped them of their naturalization proceedings. They went through a whole list of things. They couldn't go 5 miles from their homes. They weren't allowed to use radios, flashlights. I mean, you know, take a look at what FDR did many years ago. And he's one of the most highly respected presidents respected by most people. They named highways after him.
You want to bring back policies like that?
No, I don't want to bring it back, George, at all. I don't like doing it at all. It's a temporary measure until our representatives, many of whom are grossly incompetent, until our representatives can figure out what's going on. We just had a case where people were killed, many people were killed. We're going to have many more cases like that. We had somebody in this country that shouldn't be in. She came in, he came in, they were radicalized. They were looking at doing something. Miraculously, yesterday they found $28,000 just put into his account. Just put into his account. He was paid a lot of money. Just put in. Where did that money come from, George? I'll bet you'll be surprised to find out where.
Sir,
there are many, many other people like him in this country right now.
More than 25% of the world are Muslims. Aren't you concerned at all that you're going to make the United States a pariah nation and play right into ISIS's hands?
George, if you look at Paris, France, if you look at London, if you look at some of these cities where they had open arms, you can't even. Paris is a good example. Not only the carnage. You take a look at Paris. The real Paris is a different Paris than the City of Lights that you read about. They have areas in Paris where it is so radicalized and so vicious. I told you that the police refuse to go there. They will not go there. That's what's going to happen with our country.
So one more time, no second thoughts. Any Muslim coming into the United States is banned for now until the United States can figure out how this is going to go. How long do you expect this to go on?
I hope it will go quickly. I hope we can figure it out. But we have to look at people. We have to use vigilance in our country, or we're going to have many more World Trade Centers, and our country will never be the same. We will have many, many more World Trade Centers. As sure as you're sitting there, our country will never be the same. And you just said it. Until our country's representatives can figure out what is going on, we have no choice but to do this, George.
Donald Trump, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.